Hey everybody, what's going on? So today in this video we're going to be talking about the baits that I like to use this time of the year to catch big bass. So like I was saying in a couple episodes ago, this is the time of year where you can catch some absolutely monster bass. Right now, especially in this area where I'm at, we're experiencing some quite weird rain, or quite weird weather. That's what I meant to say. I was going to say it's raining right now. It's pouring down rain. I was going to make this video outside fishing some of these baits, but it started raining and pouring, so I was like, okay, well, I can't because it's just, it's pouring outside. So I came inside and popped my neck here because if I don't, it will hurt like crazy. But we got a bunch of baits up here. Most of them are soft plastics just because, for me, most of the time I catch my big fish on soft plastics. But we've got a bunch of them up here, some of my personal favorites, some of them that I've caught a lot of fish on in the past, and some of them that have been crunch time big bass catchers for my area, especially this time of the year. This is the time of year where you can catch big ones. Like I was saying a second ago, down in Florida, down in Texas, they're probably already spawning or they're getting ready to spawn. Around here, they're finally just now starting to get up shallow and move around. I was out there, like I said a little bit ago, I seen two bass run something. I assumed they were bluegill. They could have been small bass, could have been crawfish, could have been a frog for all I know. They ran something up on the bank and ate it. Whatever it was, they ate it. So they're finally moving and they're finally feeding. So now is the time. Anybody in my area, Wilkins Outdoors Adventures, Chaos Paddlers, there's a bunch of other YouTubers in my area of Illinois that y'all need to get on the ball because the fish are finally starting to move shallow. But with Illinois weather, like I said, it's weird. Tonight or tomorrow night's low is 30, and Sunday night's low is 29. So that's going to shut the fish down real nice for me. But hopefully I can get out there on Saturday and maybe get a couple fish caught because, like everybody knows, the water will be a little bit warmer than the air temperature. Hopefully it doesn't, get too cold. Tonight's low is like 56, so there's a really good chance of me getting out super early in the morning and possibly catching some, maybe even on top water. I'm going to try. Basically, I'm just going to try to catch a fish anyway. Anywhere I can use a lure, I'm going to try to catch a fish on it. But right now we're going to go ahead and talk about moving baits. My favorite moving baits for this time of the year are probably, as far as, cast out and reel in type baits, anything soft plastic swim bait wise. These are 3.5 right here and 3.0 gunner. You guys can kind of see the size difference. There's a pretty good size difference. These ones here are awesome. I like these on bigger jigs. I've actually got a swim jig tied on right over there with one of these guys on it, Green Pumpkin Magic. In my opinion, my top three colors: white, crystal shad, and Green Pumpkin Magic. And there's also, the black magic is also a really good color. The flat black is also a good color. But for me personally, around here, Green Pumpkin, white, and crystal shad. Where I use these the most, anywhere where there's flats and ledges. Like, if you don't know what a flat is, basically it is a section of bottom that is all one depth, almost the whole way through for a long ways. One of my favorite ponds to fish has a really awesome flat on it. It's pretty much where I catch most of my fish out of that pond. I always go over there if I can, when I can. The past two times I've been there, which was the past two times I went fishing at a different place than my pond, I wasn't able to because I was more kind of helping my brother catch fish, helping my mom catch fish. Hopefully soon, me, my dad, my mom, my brother will go up there, and hopefully I can get over to that side of the pond and slay them, because for whatever reason, that side of that pond has always held fish for me. That's where I caught my first 8-inch, that's where I caught my first gunner swimbait fish. That's what I was trying to say. I think that's where I caught it. I've caught so many fish on these baits, I can't even remember anymore. It's getting hard for me to remember what size the fish was or where it was or anything like that. I've caught so many fish on these baits. I've yet to catch one on the 3.0, but I've caught a lot on the 3.5. The 3.5, if the 3.0 is anything like the 3.5, this thing's going to be a killer. I mean, it's a lot smaller, not only in length, but also in body size. So I think, you know, when the bass are eating smaller shad, smaller bluegill, this guy could definitely be a big player in the fishing process of this year. Next, moving bait. Now, you guys probably have seen these before. I've talked about them before. I've used them before in videos, and that is a river to sea S-waver, or any kind of small glide bait, swim bait, hard bait style of lure. I'm going to throw this guy a little bit this year. Not a terrible amount because, you know, like I said, the water here is muddy. You know, there's a few places that are clear, but this pond here is muddy, so I'm not going to throw it in this pond just because, A, I don't want to lose it. There's already a bone-colored 120 S-waver in the bottom of that pond somewhere that I was never able to get back, and I don't want to lose my other ones. So this color here is actually called, I think it's called I Know It. I think it's I Know It. But it's a great shad profile color. 120 size is a great profile. I mean, it's like a 4.5 inch, 4 3/4 inch bait. It's a great profile. It's an awesome bait. This is the time of year, like I said, you can catch big fish on normal sized baits. You don't have to use big baits during this time of year. You know, if it was midsummer, I would tell you to go out and chuck one of these. You know, a shaky head with an all black 13-inch worm. Or maybe this guy here, you know, an 8-inch ribbed slammer worm. Or what else do I have? The 12-inch. This is a 10-inch slammer worm, or a 12-inch wrangler worm, something big. This is the time of year you can catch big fish on just regular old plain baits. This one here is another great moving bait, and that is a spinner bait. I've talked about spinner baits before. Gold blade, Indiana or Colorado blades are pretty good during this time of year. White and chartreuse has always been my favorite spinnerbait color for muddy water and just water in general. Really, I like the white chartreuse with a small 2-inch white swim bait on the back. Here pretty soon, I might switch the 2-inch swimmer over to the 3.0. Maybe might look a little bit longer. Might be a little bit bigger profile. Maybe, don't really know. I might switch it over. Might not. Top water. So this is time of year where you can get on those magical topwater bites. Now, the two topwaters that I like to throw are, number one, a sexy dog. And you guys might actually see this right here. What is this? A feathered treble hook. That's right. I'm going to have to pick that up. I bought two, literally only two, in a package for like $7. I bought two feathered treble hooks. Let me pick this up so I don't step on it. That would probably hurt the old toe. But I bought some feathered treble hooks. I put one of them on here, and I might use that one on something else. Hard to say what, but I thought it looked pretty good with that feathered treble on it. Reason why I like throwing that as a topwater bait is you can catch some big ones on it. I've caught a lot of big ones on that bait. You can also catch small ones, but the bigger fish will tend to bite that one a little bit better than the popar, which was the other bait, but I was too stupid to get it out, and I don't remember what box it's in. I don't think I have that box out. I think it's in my backpack. But a normal little popar is a great bait during this time of year as well. Slow baits. I've only got 4 slow baits, and we'll talk about why I like to throw these baits here in a second. But first bait is this guy right here. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen the video that I did Wednesday. No, I posted it Thursday, which was yesterday. I caught those fish on Wednesday. And basically all I had was this right here, a green pumpkin body with a white clawed flip out with a little bit of chartreuse spiket on the arms. Very simple. On a VMC rugby head. Now I have them right here. I'm thinking about buying some more of these in a couple different sizes maybe, because I really like this. I like the idea of these little rugby heads. Basically all they are is an EWG hook with a small little football head on it. It's a very simple setup. It actually kind of eliminates Texas rigs and stuff like that. And what I really like about it is I'll go ahead and rig this one up just to show you guys what it looks like. Basically, you just rig it up just like you would your traditional Texas rigs. You expose it and everything. But if you look at this, look at how well it sets on that flip out. I mean, it almost looks like it's just another little segment of the bait. It doesn't look anything out of the ordinary. Now, when you're throwing, where's my bullet weights at here? I don't see them. I organized all my stuff, and now I have just lost everything. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I don't organize my things. If I know where it's at, I don't move it. Do I have any half-ounce? No? Are you kidding me? Okay. Well, evidently my half-ounce bullet weights are just gone. I'll have to find those. I'll probably find them right after I get done with this video. That's normally how it goes. But without having that big chunk of silver or black lead or whatever up here, there's just this little bitty segment right here, little bitty head, and it's a very light rig. It's a very light thing. It's a 1/8 ounce head, and what I like about a 1/8 ounce head, now when I'm throwing a bait, I'll throw all 4 of these baits that I'm getting ready to talk to you on that rig. One of them is the Mud Crawler by Doc Sewer Company. Awesome action in this bait. This color here is actually green pumpkin body with the black claws. Dark water special is what I call this color. Another bait. This one here, I throw it 2 ways. Wacky rigged and on one of those little rugby heads or a small Texas rig. Which this little rugby head has pretty much taken over for my new, finesse Texas rig because it's awesome. And the 7-inch Wrangler worm, which is the biggest bait out of all the baits I showed. Only 7 inches, only a little ribbon tail, but it has incredible action and it can catch you big fish. Now, why do I go with a lighter head during this time of the year other than most other times of the year? Most of the other times of the year, you all are going to see me throwing half-ounce Texas rigs most of the time. Why? During that time of the year, I'm throwing out super far in the very deep water. I'm not really fishing up shallow a whole lot with those type of rigs. Now with this, you can fish in inches of water and not make a huge splash. It can be a very silent, very slow presentation. You can flip it in there very subtle, and you can let it just sit there, and then you can touch it very slowly, and it'll just kind of hop up and just settle back down. It'll sit there and it'll hop up. It's a very slow, subtle technique. It gives those fish a lot of time to hit the bait. When they're sitting there and they're looking at the bait, they don't want something that's going crazy in front of them. They want something that's very subtle and just kind of sitting there, and then it hops up and it kind of just sits back down. It's a very subtle way of fishing, very slow, methodical way. It's one of my favorites. During this time of the year, like I said, the 4-inch Ultra Finesse worm, great bait for this time of the year with one of those rugby heads or on a wacky rig. That's what I was using yesterday. And I showed you guys in that video today when I posted it. A small ribbon tail worm like this. This is a 7-inch ribbon tail. It's smaller than, like a 12-inch ribbon tail or a 10-inch or an 8-inch. It's kind of a finesse ribbon tail worm, and it's just a great, slow hop, slow dragging bait because it has a very good action on the tail. A mud crawler, if they're eating crawfish or bluegill, this is a great imitator as well. So, I think that's about all I was going to talk about in this video. Where I like to target is, brush piles obviously are good areas to look for within, 2 to 3 feet of water, depending on how your weather's been. Our weather was in the mid-60s for about maybe 3 or 4 days straight, and then suddenly, just out of the blue, on Wednesday, I went out there. Now, on Tuesday, I fished out there, and nothing was happening. I'm actually looking at the pond trying to see if it's still raining. It looks like it is. I went out there on Tuesday, and nothing. I could not buy a bite. I went out there on Wednesday, same time, same place and everything, and caught 3 fish in 10 casts. My dad came out there, and I was talking to him about, we're thinking about putting getting some small bait, small bait fish to put in the pond to try to help, get some really big bass in there, get some, 5, 6, 7 pound bass in there. And he was like, hey, let me, because he never cast that bait caster that I had, the Cast King Speed Demon. I'm having trouble saying that. He never cast it before, so I was like, okay, here, cast it. And he was throwing this little setup right here. And he's like, all right, so he casts it out there, and it sinks to the bottom, and he slowly hops it like I was using it. I told him how I was fishing it, and he started fishing the same way and ended up catching a fish as well. So 4 fish. He caught it on his first cast. He made 3 casts and caught 1 fish on the very first one, and then I was able to catch 3 fish in 10 casts in my first 10 casts. So I was pretty happy with that day. That was a great day of bass fishing, I do say so myself. But like I said, that's a great bait for this time of the year. With this cold front that's coming in, It might shut down the bite. It could make it better. Sometimes it does that. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? It could make it better. It could make it 20 times worse, and we might have to wait until next Wednesday to fish again and catch fish. Don't know. But thank you guys for watching once again. I'm thinking about doing a bed fishing video here pretty soon. I keep saying that at the end of my videos, but I forget to do it. That'll probably be the next video. So thank you guys for watching. Oh, also, if you've made it to this point in the video, over on the Coast to Coast Outdoors YouTube channel, I'm thinking about doing some other videos, non-fishing related videos. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.